Bro,
You.
I'm gonna call you out right now. I'm calling you out right now. After two measly losses, really, Rob?
It's been like
Get real, dude. Get real, bro. Two losses and you're already counting this team out, man?
it's whatever at that
Get
point.
get real, bro. Come on, bro.
The team. But regardless, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Between the Lines. But dang it.
Yes, I fucked you up. I went with the baseball thing because me and you argue on Facebook over the shit.
But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ballin with the Ladies. Damn, my ear itches. But if you guys are new to the show, you know how it is. We just will tear into other WNBA teams who are terrible, all that good stuff, news reports, a little bit, kind of discovering over power rankings as well at the same time. But if you guys are new, make sure you hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button. And that being said, obviously, so far, Tyler, what have you seen so far this week? I know because we haven't really been, see, what have you seen so far that really either stood out to you or just makes you question why this week in terms of the WNBA? Because
I really want to talk about the sheer dominance of the Aces, for one, and for two, that whole ordeal with the sexual, well, not the sexual assault, the abuse thing.
Oh, the bully with
of all, no, not the bullying, the abuse thing, the arrest.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we gotta address that elephant in the room too.
That's a huge elephant in the room.
So let's just go with that since this is a huge ass elephant in the room. There, let's get to that. What were your thoughts when you heard the news that she got arrested for why am I saying sexual assault? For the abuse,
domestic violence. Honestly, I was shocked, but then again, I've also realized her requirements isn't that great as I've from what I've seen. It's a short time as an Aces fan, but it's just at times where it's just like I said, I don't know Raquel Williams personally, and if I did, I would ask her, why would you do that? So, like I said, we don't really know these players personally, so we don't know what's going behind closed doors, and stuff like that. It's just like the fact when that came out, it's like, oh. And
now we've seen like a couple distractions, just a couple of distractions for this team. And that was that domestic abuse thing that happened very, very recently. And also the Becky Hammond thing where she got accused of bullying early on this season, and they're still able to, and also the third distraction, Candace Parker is out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I've noticed.
So you lose one of your top stars, and you're still dominating. And you have a couple distractions, and you're still dominating. I want to know what's in the water in Las Vegas for them to be that dominant.
To put it to simply, Tyler, they're just a deep team. Like it's a deep team. Like if you talk about the most complete teams like you have seen put together. I mean, look, if you look at the Aces in the past, if you take away that championship year, they had a hard time trying to get their footing together. But once you start building that core with Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, I almost forgot about her, probably one of my dark horse MVP candidates.
I feel like she's up there in the MVP candidacy.
But because like once you start building that core, like especially going into 2022, and even a bit of 2021, you can see how deep, complete they were starting to be.
And I gotta say this, and before you continue, I don't mean to interrupt. There is a reason why Kelsey Plum's nickname is Plum Dog Millionaire. All right, there's a reason why she's called that. Look at the game she's played in. Look at the product, bro.
And look, and there are times where and that's the thing too. Like she'll have some off games here and there. I've seen some off games where she can give say 15, say up to 19, break almost.
But here's the thing: her off games are still good games because it's 15 to 19 points. Even when she's off, she's good.
And that's the thing. And the one thing I always respect about the team, they don't really rely on the three ball like some of these teams do in the WNBA. Like they're more
I feel like after that one game where they were just jacking up threes and they nearly lost the game. That was the heart attack game where I felt like I needed prayer after that.
You had a
I was freaking out watching that game with you. Doing our you can watch that play-by-play analysis on our channel, the Sports and Wrestling Connection.
Absolutely.
But they were just jacking up threes, like I think in that second quarter of that game.
Yeah.
And they were just jacking them up. And I'm like, dude, you're not even making these shots. Stop trying to make these shots.
And that's the thing too. And I think over time, and that's why I think I've always, and this is where I think Beckham, and I think sometimes I kind of feel like the NBA. I know it's kind of kind of the bit of the same sport, but I sometimes I kind of feel like the NBA is kind of regretting not having someone like Becky Hammond being a head coach, because look what she's done with this group of women in her first 2 years as a head coach.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. I knew when Becky Hammond got hired to be the Aces head coach, I was like, this is a good hire, because look what she did with the Spurs.
I mean, especially being assistant to one of the greatest head coaches.
She was just the assistant coach.
And she
to Greg Popovich.
One of the
and the thing is, she brought, and if you can tell, she brought a lot of Greg Popovich, stuff to that team.
And rightfully so. I mean, we've seen this team where, like, yes, I know at times like this team doesn't really like. You see like a lot of teams like say the Sparks, who are known for like their assisting and stuff like that. Same with the Mercury. If they can get up there in terms too, they can get their assists when they need to. But most of the time, they just go. It's just like pound in the paint. That's what they do.
They kill you in the paint. Yeah, they go inside. They kill you in the paint, and it also helps too that these women on this team know how to share the rock. They know how to share that ball. They're passing it around. They're looking for open shots, whether it's in the paint or for three. They are looking for these open shots. They are getting there. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, they're a bunch of goddamn dogs. Because they are blocking shots left and right. They're defending the ball. They're getting steals. They're making great defensive rotations. They're making good plays on that defensive side of the ball. So it's awesome to see the product that the Aces are putting out.
It's not just that too, and they're also picking up some. And like I said, with those distractions, like a lot of times you've seen some teams like crack under those distractions. Whereas
not the Aces.
And that's what. And going back to what you said about Becky Hammond, I think she's kind of where she's actually kind of like having some of these. I bet she's probably having these teammates behind closed doors and try to keep this as a level headed, because even the fact that Raquel Williams, before the big elephant in the room with her, that 9 battery charges that she's right now currently facing. Even when she was out with that back injury, you really not see this team really slow down a bit throughout the season. Now, yes, the first quarter, slow starts is, I would say, in a way for me, is a bit concerning at times. It's like
it's a little bit concerning, but once they get that gear turning, when they get going, they get going.
I mean,
it's like it may be close in the first quarter, but you just wait. That team's gonna get blown the fuck out by the fourth.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. Wait,
and especially the way, and like the last game on this past Tuesday, they blow out the Chicago Sky in 107-95.
Yeah. It's like, but 107-95, that's not really a blowout. That's kind of close.
But if you think about it, earlier this season against the Seattle Storm, 105-64.
Bro,
that's like
you were streaming that game, and I looked at the dynamic. By the third quarter, you looked bored out of your goddamn mind calling that game.
I was I called it a mercy roll because shout out to my boy Dante.
You were sitting there like another bucket by the Aces.
It's like
you were getting bored.
And it's like, if you look at the team as the Aces compared to the rest of the NBA, but there's some teams you can make him argument that can at least match up with the Aces. Like a Washington Mystics. Now the problem that we talked about the last few episodes is the injury bug. He can't, for some reason, cannot.
But now I'm looking at these standings. Now I'm not so sure about the Mystics. I am not that sure.
Oh wow!
Because for let's look at the home and road splits for the Aces, and then I'll go to the Mystics. In conference play, the Aces are 13-1. At home, they're undefeated at 11-0.
Perfect. You're never going to be. I will have to say this, dude. There was a couple of games that I've watched where I was like, oh, one of these teams are going to handle their first loss.
One of these teams are going to hand them their first L at home, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Yeah, the Aces went, ain't happening. But they do have 2 losses on the road, but they have 11 wins there too. So they're absolutely dominant at home and on the road. But let's look at the Mystics.
Ooh.
They are 6-8 in conference play.
Yikes.
They are 8-4 at home, and they are 4-8 on the road. So this is why I am not. Early on, I'm thinking okay. The Mystics might have a chance against us because they've looked complete. Now I am not sure. Now when I look at their games, the cohesiveness doesn't feel like they're there.
It's like it's because at times, like you've seen games that's like you have. Let's say when EDD is out, like you could tell that team was off a little bit.
When EDD's out, they don't play well at all.
Like and that's just like
EDD. It seems like EDD has to carry the load,
and that's kind of really concerning because like we said too, like yes, we know the Aces are a complete team, because Candace Parker, yeah, she's not really having the best season, but then again, she kind of realized where her role is at this point of her career. As soon as she goes down, like we always have a replacement. That's a lot of times I feel like teams have to take notice of the Aces and like actually know how to get and actually have some good depth. Because, like, say if Deladon, let's be honest, right now, I think from what my understanding is their team lead score, because I mean she can get fucking buckets any day for that team, and the fact that you can see at times, she has to carry this team where you don't see the supporting cast is not the greatest, and when they're off, it's like just like, are you sure this is the team that wanted you? Because look, the Mystics won the title in 2018,
yep.
And you see this team over. Since then, yes, they had the mix and match through players, but then again, that's kind of besides the point. That's kind of the normal routine. But you're seeing this team still, for some reason, cannot. Like I said, I will emphasize, cannot catch a break. If Deladon gets hurt, I mean, now she has dealt with some injuries this season, obviously with the stiff neck. And there's some other stuff that she's kind of dealt with. And obviously, yes, she's still dealing with Lyme's disease. For those who don't remember the 2020 pandemic, she actually opted out for good reason, even though we don't want to forget about it. We want to move on from that. But it's just like, it makes you wonder as a Mystics fan. It's like, do you still want to hit the red panic button, or are you still going to give it time? Because right now you're 24 games into the season as it stands.
You're 24 games in. You're 24 games into the season. You were 12-12. I wouldn't hit the panic button just yet if you're a Mystics fan. I would be nervous. I would definitely be nervous at this point.
It's going to make you sweat.
It's going to make you a bit nervous. Like, well, we're 12-12. We're clinging on to one of the playoff spots right now. But right now, the home and road splits are what scares me. They're 8-4 at home and 4-8 on the road. So it's kind of concerning to me. They got to be better on the road. I mean, and it's also concerning to me is that if they make the playoffs, which I think they will, I don't think they're bad enough to where they're going to miss the playoffs.
I think they're just very good.
They're going to have a few road games, and if you can't win on the road, if you can't win,
you're screwed
at home or on the road. If you can't, I mean, really, if you can't win on the road, because you have as much as you have plenty of road games if you are like down in a series or if you're up in like. And it comes to a game, if a crucial game is on the road in the playoffs, this team is in trouble if they don't do better on the road.
So
that's the problem. And also, you gotta help EDD. You gotta help her. She can't do this on her own. She's gotta have a team. This is a team sport. This isn't a one-person sport. This is a team sport. Be a team.
And speak to and really brought on, and that's a very good point too. Their last game today, they lost by 7 to the Atlanta Dream, who early on we had our doubts with them. That's another team that's been it's like, are they going to be a playoff team? Or are they just going to limp in? Like, where does this team stand?
And right now, looking at it, hold on. Right now, the Atlanta Dream sit at 13-11, and they hold the 5th spot. And they're really good. They're decent on the road, but they're also they're okay they're okay at home. They had just lost one. And they're 7-8. They're 7-8 in a conference play, so they're not really good in the conference.
Yeah, it just seems like the Eastern Conference is kind of taking a bit of a step back. Because
it doesn't help. It doesn't help that only 3 teams. I would say 4. Like the Dallas Wings are not that bad. They are good in conference play. They're really good in conference play.
Absolutely.
They're magnificent at home. 9-3, magnificent.
Absolutely.
But 5-7 on the road, that's kind of concerning there. But
yeah, that's.
It seems like everybody. It seems like everybody but
Vegas, New York, and
Vegas. Everybody but those 3 teams are either okay on the road or they're bad on the road. Like that's you're either okay or bad. But but then you have the top 3 teams are just absolutely dominating, and that's to me it's like if you want to be a good team, you gotta be good. You gotta have good home and road splits if you want to be a dominant team. But
absolutely
like that's not what these teams are doing. They're either bad at home or they're bad on the road, and it's. Oof. But I do think I do like what the Dallas Wings bring. They're a really, really good team. But honestly, the Mystics need to get it together.
They got to step it up because right now
you have Chicago. Right now they're driving on neutral. They got to put it in that second gear.
You really have to because
they got to put that pedal on the goddamn metal. They got to start the damn car.
Mystics, they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. And you got
they are really, really they've really tanked the last 7 or the last 10.
It's just like because we saw early on, it's like, oh, this team is going to be a bona fide playoff contender. Now,
I'm not. Now I'm not even that
more
sure.
Than halfway through the season, it's like
the pendulum has swung. Like we're thinking, oh no. Now we're thinking, oh no, I don't know what's going to happen to the Mystics. Are they going to make the playoffs? Are they even going to make a run in the playoffs? If they make it, now there's question marks. Where there wasn't question marks when we were watching this team early in the season.
Speaking of a depressed Sparks fan, which we'll get to in just a second. I'm sorry.
You know what? Since Key is here. Is here. Since Key is here, let's talk about those Sparks. Oh my God, they are atrocious.
9-15. They're 2-8 in the last 2 games. Right now, currently on a 2-game winning streak. They're 2-9 on the road. I feel bad for Key.
Bro.
Oh, man.
At this point, she's out here saying shoot me now because of how bad this team is. Oh, 3, dude, how the hell can you not buy a win on the road?
Like, let's just oh God! Like we had a team. Yeah, you know how.
Like this. Like you can't buy a win on the road to save your damn life.
Yeah.
They're just bad. Like after they lost Candace Parker, they're bad.
It's not just that. I mean, when you have the Agumake sisters go down with either injury or non-illness stuff, and you don't have Katie Lou Samuelson who's still out on maternity leave. You have
the pregnancy thing, and now you lost your top 2 twins that you had on your damn roster. They're out with injury now, so everything that's gone that's possible to go wrong has gone wrong.
I feel bad for Katie.
Everything that couldn't go wrong did go wrong.
I think it's wrong times 2.
Wrong times infinity. All right, because that's everything that has gone that was possible to go wrong has gone wrong.
Well, talk about
Candace Parker leaves. You lost the 2 damn twins that were really, really good. You lost one of your players to pregnancy or illness or something. Well, it could be to anything. It could be either the pregnancy or it could be the illness. You can lose somebody. You lost your entire roster.
Well, if you know how bad it is, they are losing to the New York Liberty 67-43. It's
Jesus Christ.
Under 2 minutes to play in the third.
Jesus, 60. Oh my God, your team is trash. I'm sorry, Keith. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
Okay, so look at the rest of the numbers so far through the team. Now, the one thing that what the Sparks do pretty well, they know how to score in their points in the paint. They're outscoring 32-16 points in the paint.
Yeah, Hamby's the only player doing anything.
Oh, and speaking of that too, since you brought up as well, let's take a look at the box score.
Hamby's the only one doing anything, dude.
And same with Neka Gumake ain't doing jack squat either. 10 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal.
Bro, I gotta turn. If this game's on TV, I gotta turn this shit on.
It's on ESPN. God bless you for those.
Right. Never mind, I don't got ESPN.
So,
this is.
But Keith, and that's what. Thank you. That's why I said Neka's playing like shit. And that's kind of where I've always said it with the Sparks team. If the Gumake series cannot get going, this team ain't jack squat. I'm sorry. Look, I like Hamby less. Yes, I grant it. Yes, she played pretty decently for us, but she hasn't really shown what she can be. Like Coloridian, she ain't doing squat either. 6 points, 1 assist with a plus minus and minus 25 in almost 20 minutes. I mean, Neka right now is shooting 4 for 10 from the floor, 2 or 3 from the free throw line, and over 1 from 3, and over 25 minutes to account for 10 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and has 1 block shot. So, oh jeez, and Zaya Cook. I mean, I get it; she's a rookie, but Jesus, I don't want to cut her some slack, but she hasn't really been that impressive either. But then again, like I said, she is a rookie, so I had to. I mean, Hamby.
Bro, literally nobody on this team has more than 11 points tonight.
Outside of besides Hamby and Agumake, nobody.
Hamby caps off at 11.
Yeah, she's got.
Agumake has freaking 10.
Well, Hamby now has 13 points in over 15 minutes played.
Why is it not updating? Google sucks. They're slow.
Well, for me, I have it on my computer, so they'll do it. They're doing it. It's still live, but they're doing it upgrade. Lexi Brown, Jesus.
But dude, they are literally letting Brianna Stewart cook you guys.
And yeah, we did say the one weakness you have to exploit with Brianna Stewart, is you have to beat her in the paint. That's where her weakness is. But boy, well, yeah.
Bro, so freaking Brianna Stewart is just cooking you guys right now.
21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 block shots.
She's cooking you guys.
So now, yeah. Well, boy, that's rough. And it's kind of sad, for a team that I actually thought I will flat out admit this. I said this on record that the Sparks are going to have a good season. Boy, am I eating my goddamn words wrong. I mean, major Croden today.
Bro, you were choking on freaking crow right now.
I will flat out admit it. Yes, I've said on record that the Sparks are going to have an improved season. And
improve for shit.
Yeah. And this is before the season even started, or I think during the early part of the season.
Bro, you know what? When I think we did a preseason stream, and we both said the Sparks would be better than this.
And
we're both in our
I'm going to just be humble and say, you know what? I'm going to say it.
I'll take the L. I will take the L. I don't care. I'll take the L.
Now, I will say the one team I had shown some slight. Now, yeah, that is true. Yeah, Minnesota did upset the Liberty in the last game, which was not surprising, but that's kind of where the link, and that's the thing too with the Lynx too. Like God, how do I describe? I would say the Lynx are a bit streaky, if that makes sense. Like they'll have some games they'll have some games where they can just surprise you, but there are times you'll see times where they just completely shit the bed. And yes, I will.
You know what the Lynx remind me of?
Shoot, lay it on me.
Their male counterpart, the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They're literally playing like Minnesota.
Yeah, you got Who's Miller. You still got Collier, who's been fucking balling as of late, who's been very fucking impressive. I mean, shit. It's like.
Hell no. I know.
Okay. I feel bad for you.
I just feel bad for Pete. He has to.
Oh, not Mr. No Show and French Fry.
Not Mr. No Show and French Fry. What the hell?
For those who don't get the French Fry reference, that is Rudy Gobert. That's who's the French. That's the reference to. That's who Keith's alluding to. I think Mr. No Show. For me, I think that's Anthony Edwards, who fucking screwed me on a $45,000 payout on fucking FanDuel. So fuck you on that.
You know who I think Mr. No Show is?
Okay. Oh, she said Cat. I would say for me.
I could see Cat. I could see Cat being Mr. No Show.
Looking at the last game for the Lynx, they barely scraped by the Connecticut Sun by 4. I mean, Caleb has been. I've always said. Oh, Coach Dante. See, that's why I love Coach Dante. He will find the most random ass sayings, like you said, and Finding Nemo, or sometimes Where's Waldo, and Mr. No Show, or sometimes I think you're gonna. At times I think Dante's got to add Miss No Show at times because, I mean, right now I guess you say the one Miss No Show for me, especially.
Dude, Coach Dante has like the best freaking nicknames for these goddamn players for any sports team or sports league. It's crazy, man. He just and we just laugh. We're like, where the hell did that come from?
Now I will say this too, though. Looking at the box score between the Lynx and the. Yes, I know Collier didn't play because obviously I think she had a bit of an illness.
Oh, we know that. I know Finding Nemo is Chase Claypool because he had because Dante put a whole ass freaking Nemo clip before he showed Claypool highlights. But
yeah, so going over the Lynx, and that's the thing too about the Lynx too. They'll have some some good games where they can give you 90 till about almost close to 100 sometimes. But games like this against a team that is very competitive, like the Connecticut Sun, sometimes it really does wonder, can this team now? Yes, I think yes, the Lynx come out with barely a win. Now, yes, I think that's what we've seen the last so far, especially in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. We see some ugly ass wins or sometimes ugly ass losses. It's not pretty for some teams. Sorry, Keith. Not your Sparks are no longer safe from us tearing you guys a new one because, holy crap! And then again, that is true. Another team that all of us, so not just for me and Tyler, but also Key and Dante, I don't think we had a bet going on, but we did say, if you have a team that actually wants to improve, it's got to be the Indiana Fever. They got to win 4 more, and I'm with Key on this one. I think the Fever do have to win more games. To not be the worst team. Because if you think about it, we just said this about this last year. Boy, they were god fucking awful. 5-31 in 36 games. Ay.
Yeah, this is that was the team that I was really thinking. Once they made that draft pick they made, I'm like, okay, they've got to be improved here. They have to improve because you can't make that pick in that draft and go 5-31 again. You can't.
Or not since it's a 40-game season, probably 5-35.
Yeah, 5-30. Yeah, you don't want to go 5-35. You can't just win 5 games again after you made that draft pick. You know what draft pick I'm talking about.
So Key's got a little bit of a hot take here. She thinks Jewel Lloyd's going to leave Seattle. I could get behind that, actually.
Honestly, any good player that's there, it's best for them if they just go to a contender.
And he also says
just go full on rebuild at this point.
And I agree with you on this one.
I agree with that too, and that's why I'm saying that is exactly what I'm saying is that any good player that's there, if you want your career to be, known again, if you want to be seen as an MVP, if you want to be seen as best player, if you want to be seen
as,
don't be on a bad team. Don't be on, and I feel like Jewel Lloyd, she needs to go to
a contending team.
Yeah,
because right now, as it stands, if you're a Fever fan, it's 67-51 with just under 6.5 in the fourth. But yeah, right now with a loss, that's going to make 6-19 for the Indiana Fever. And I think also Dante brought up a good point. Like say, if the Fever don't win more, I would say more than 5 games. I think he also said I think Indiana is going to have a coaching change, but I could potentially see that. You know what? That is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that's a huge problem to me too, because I've seen this all year. They are refusing to run the offense through Aaliyah Boston. That is your top pick. That is your prized possession. You run that offense through Aaliyah Boston.
And yeah, that's a good point too. They just got a new coach, and I won't be surprised if that coach doesn't last this season. I'm sorry. If you're gonna have a coach that doesn't want to run through Aaliyah Boston, who, if it has not anybody watched her during her time in college, she does come as advertised. Mostly from the rebounds and blocking shots, but at times you can get her going in terms on the scoring side of things. Boy, that's going to be fucking scary.
And we were wondering why Aaliyah Boston wasn't waking up. Why wasn't she scoring a lot? It's because they're not giving her the damn ball to run that offense. They're not like he just said, and like we're saying right now. They're not running that offense through Aaliyah Boston.
And that's
you got to do it. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. You got to run that offense through your best player. You got to do it.
It really is. And also think too, going back to what we talked about with the Aces, what was the one thing that they've been doing pretty well? Sharing the rock, get their other players involved. We see it at times. The Fever, boy, can we just? They need to get their heads out of their asses, because I wouldn't be surprised if they went through another coaching change. Because you need somebody a coach that actually is willing to run an offense through Aaliyah Boston. Yes, I know if you're a basketball fan, I know that's kind of unconventional. You have to run it through a center, but at times we have seen it becomes successful with a lot of teams, not just from the WNBA side of things. You can see it in the NBA. You can run it through your big person, your big man or big woman. I know that's kind of a weird phrasing, but
to run it. But here's the thing: Aaliyah Boston is your top pick.
Your number one overall.
You got her for a goddamn reason, and yet you're not utilizing the reason why you got her. That's a problem. That is a huge problem. And I feel like management's I bet you upper management's what are y'all doing?
I mean, right now
we got Aaliyah Boston for a reason, and you're not doing your job.
Not using much. I mean, not bad. I mean, she's her second lead on the score. I mean, right now with 11.7 rebounds.
But here's the thing with that. She's a 20-plus point scorer.
Yeah, you see that in college,
and she's only getting 11 points. That's telling me they're too busy giving the ball to other players that don't deserve the ball.
Right now, outside of her, I mean, Kelsey Mitchell's right now the current leading scorer at 17 points in over 30 minutes. Yeah,
Still though, man, you have Aaliyah Boston for a reason. Put the ball in her hands. Let her do the work. Let her work. Let her cook, as they say. Let her cook. And that's the thing. And they're not letting it happen. They're not. And like I said, look at her in college. She was a 20-plus point scorer.
She's just a double machine. I mean,
she's a double goddamn machine, and you're not utilizing it.
Because like you have a gem, a really good one at that in Aaliyah Boston, but yet, I love Boston, but sometimes I kind of wonder, like, sometimes I wish someone was actually worse, a team that actually want to perform worse and actually had the number 1 overall pick and actually would you still utilize her? It's like, first of all,
that's what I was saying. I'm like, I don't think they did great by tanking because they're not even utilizing Aaliyah at all. They're not even utilizing her at all. Oh, yeah, she's getting 11 points. So who do you got? Probably Becky Hammond. I
say Becky Hammond. I could say the coach from the Liberty.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the coach's name for Connecticut.
I don't know either. But those are the top three. Those are the top three for Coach of the Year.
I just run around. Oh, 18.
But honestly, it's easy. It's an easy pick. It's let's be honest here. Easy pick.
I mean, ATL. I mean, their coach has actually been doing some pretty good work over there.
Yeah, their coach is doing all right. But here's the thing. It's still an easy pick. It's the Aces coach, Becky Hammond.
I mean, not just because we're not just saying it because we're biased, but look at the coaching and the talent differences, in this league. Not just, look, I think Connecticut's got some really nice talent, but do they still have better? Are they slightly better than the Aces? One can make the argument, and it depends on the position, though. You always have that one position where some teams have a better player, in terms of the point guard position. Well, you have Kelsey. Yeah, I think Becky can't win again because, look, like I said, not just because we're biased, but like I said, look at the talent difference.
Oh yeah, look at the record. Look at the records. Like the conference play, the home and road splits, and look at the record itself. 22-2.
Like this team, I can see if they could continue doing.
No other team is doing what the Aces are doing, and that's because of Becky Hammond.
And they have a really good coaching, not just from Becky Hammond's side of things, but they have some good assistants, and they got a really nice, well-built coaching staff to help these ladies.
I don't know. Again. I know the other coaches are good, but Becky Hammond's running away with it.
Yeah.
He's running away with it. It's an easy. It's easy. I know New York. I know New York is in the running. I know other teams are in the running, but it's over already. Becky Hammond is a surefire coach here.
And what's also crazy is too. If you look at the standings, we're the first team with over 20 wins. You still have the Liberty at 18, Connecticut at 18, Dallas at 14, Minnesota at 13. Same with Atlanta.
The talent level is just too great. The coaching level is just too great. The Aces coach Becky Hammond has ran away with it so far. Can the tide change still? Yes,
absolutely.
There's still a lot of games left.
So we're saying this as it currently stands, it's definitely Becky Hammond. But like we said, you still got a lot more games to play in order for the pendulum to swing, as we said.
Yeah, and honestly, the way the Aces have played without Candace Parker, with those distractions,
it's like
with those issues outside of the arena, outside the court.
Absolutely.
Like that, and the way that they played, they didn't let it distract. They didn't let it get to their head, and it's awesome. And Becky's part of that. Like, all right, she definitely told him. I know there's a lot of distractions off the team. I know with the whole battery charge thing and the whole people telling me that I'm a bully, or from one of our former players is telling me I'm a bully. And then Candace Parker going out. I know there's a lot of distractions, but don't let it get to your head. And and coaching is part of that, and she's done that.
And this is what people like. This is what you always gotta love about Becky Hammon, because she's also once a former player herself. Played for the San Antonio Spurs, which for those who don't remember, that was prior to them becoming the Las Vegas Aces. You know, even though it was a bit of a rebrand, but the Aces were the San Antonio Stars. You had Candace Parker and Becky Hammon played with each other at once in the early part of their careers. Like, it's crazy, like how much the circle it's come full circle. Yeah, Becky Hammon's head coach. You also had Candace Parker. Yes, now she had a double foot surgery, but also playing under Becky Hammon. Like, that's kind of what I liked about it. Now, I actually brought up an interesting article through the WNBA website. Nicholas Duncan, I hope I am not butchering your first name, but this is an interesting headline. Or title she pretty much titles it "Bullies on the Block: How does Aces Succeed Down Low?" How many times? I mean, Tyra will say this again. That's what the Aces are known for. Now, yes, they can get the 3-point shots every so often, but their main focus is the interior.
And then she said it, and she said it best in an article. They will bully you inside that paint.
So
they will body you inside that paint.
So
they'll go crazy inside that paint. I'm telling you that right now. And we've seen it countless times.
Even
watching these like by the third quarter, we're bored.
Like,
you want to know why? Because they can't stop scoring.
Because you know it's bad. You have to play against the reserves. That's how bad a lot of teams lose to the Las Vegas Aces can be. Now, yes,
even the reserves dominate. Like, what?
But regardless, but this article is going to say, when discussing the dominance of the Las Vegas Aces, it's not hard to start with their offense, currently boasting a 114.7 offensive rating, meaning they're scoring nearly 115 points for every 100 possessions. What the fuck? That is scary. But regardless. But they're on pace to
it's like one of those. The Aces are one of those teams where you just have to look out for them. You gotta look out for them, because they will step on your throat, and they will leave that foot there.
Just flat out embarrass you. We see that throughout the.
They will beat you down, and then they will kick you while you're down.
Or at times there are going to be games where they want to give you a fucking heart attack waiting to goddamn happen.
I think there's been like 1 or 2 games where that happened. It was one game that gave me a heart attack. I think it was like very, very recently.
I think that might be against the Lynx.
Yeah, I'm like, they're really feeling like they lost Candace Parker there. They're really feeling it, because it was close for a while.
Close. Yeah, but once you get to that third quarter, that's when they throw up to the third gear, and boy.
And then by the fourth, you're like, all right, enough, you won, damn.
But speaking of their offensive rating at 114.7, they are on pace to smash the 2019 Washington Mystics mark, which they did set. The Mystics set back in 2019 at 112.9. For the best offense in league history. Now, this is also the crazy part too. You have A'ja Wilson, who's averaging almost 19.7 points per game, Jackie Young at 19.1, and Kelsey Plum at 19.1. You have almost 20 point per game fucking scorers. Like, that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, they got dogs on that team, bro. Kelsey Plum's a dog.
She might have averaged 19.
Chelsea Green's a dog. A'ja Wilson's a dog.
Well, this is also the crazy part too, not just from their scoring, but so you have A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum all in the top 10 in scoring, and rightfully so. You got Chelsea Gray, who's also is on pace to join the 50-40-90 club. For those who don't know what that is 50% or 50% from the floor.
50% from the floor,
40% from three, and 90% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So the Aces are going to have 4 players in that club.
4 on one team in one season.
Now it's obviously. I mean, she's been Gray. She's been shooting from the floor at 51.8% from the field, 45.5 from 3, and 95.2 from the free throw line. Jesus.
Yeah,
well,
it's crazy, bro. What they're doing, man, it's crazy. But yeah, this stems from Becky Hammond. So yeah, she's a surefire coach of the year so far. But the pendulum will swing soon.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
I don't know, because they did lose Candace Parker, and that might be felt. And they're already feeling it in some of these games a little bit.
She took a little bit of time to get her rhythm going, because I mean, she's been very efficient. That's the one benefit of having someone like Candace Parker, 56.3% from the field and 44% from 3, which is over the last 10 years.
The fact that she was doing that with a broken freaking foot,
that should tell you. And
he's a freaking baller, bro.
Or despite the fact that Kelsey Plum kind of busted her chops for wearing black shoes and white socks, but that's besides the point. That was kind of funny.
Listen, Kelsey Plum, when she sees bad style, she will roast you.
I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I mean, she does.
So don't you dare wear something shitty around Kelsey Plum. She will roast your life.
Your chops about it, but
she will roast your life.
But going further with this, amidst the Aces monitor pace and space approach, what's gone under the radar is how much better they've been going. They've been going at old school. They didn't press the quote unquote post up button often last season, nor did they have much success. So according to Per Synergy, the Aces ranked last in post up frequency at 5.7% of possessions, passes included. They really didn't, but now they're doing it. I think that's coming from last year, which that's kind of surprising. Now that the Essence have bigger bodies, I mean and since then, this year they doubled their frequency at 10.2%, which is good for eighth in that, and while improving second in efficiency at 1.138 triple P, only trailing by the Brittany Griner led Phoenix Mercury at 1.167 post up or a triple P. Like, that's kind of crazy now you think of a team, the best team in WNBA trailing in terms of post up behind a shitty team. That is the Phoenix Mercury. Oh, good Lord. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but boy, for those who do not watch the Mercury games, then again, I don't blame you, because good God. It is so hard to
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the Mercury and watching games, right? I made the mistake of watching one game.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that, but
bro, I turned that shit off real quick. Because there was like 5 or 6 turnovers in the first quarter committed by the goddamn Mercury. I'm like, I'm turning this shit off. I know how this game's already going to go. They've lost. Because it's like every game, it's like it's turnover city.
I mean, think about
it. It's like, damn.
Well, at least a slight positive. These are not the worst team in the WNBA as it stands.
Oh, yeah. They're not the worst, but they're the second worst.
Well, they are the worst team on the road. They're 1-11 on the road.
Yeah, they're shit on the road, bro.
Conference play, yeah, that's not doing any justice either. 2-11.
I looked at that too. That was not good at all.
And the fact they're 5-6 at home is beyond me. The fact they're one game under 500 at home is still shocking for a team as disappointing. That is the Phoenix Mercury at 6-17. So now, what it's looked like now, 2023 in terms of right now as it stands. Actually, let me take a look, because I think it was usually with the top 8 in the WNBA. What was I think it might have been it. Oh yeah, it's the top 8. So currently, if the playoffs started, so the teams that will be eliminated would be the Sparks, the Mercury, the Fever, and the Seattle Storm. And your top 8. So right now, the Sparks, if they somehow can, he's, oh boy, I don't even know what to say. It's like
They're like, everything's been like 5 seconds.
The only one thing that's separating the Sky and the Sparks is the record in the last 10 games. The Sky 4-6 for the last 10 games compared to the Sparks 2-8. That's the one thing, because everything else, you have the Sparks who are slightly better than the Sky in conference play at 6-10, 7-6 at home, and 2-9 on the road. So right now, you could be looking at either it's battle for the last, if the playoffs were getting ready around the corner. The two teams you can see for battling for the last playoff spot is the Sky and the Sparks. So, like I said, shit can happen. Anything can happen. You can see somehow the Sky somehow go on, let's say on a losing streak, and then you have the Spark for some reason will just pull out a winning streak out their ass for whatever reason, because they are inconsistent as fucking hell. I will flat out admit that the Sparks are super inconsistent. They can't close out games, which we did talk about last episode, because boy, that's the biggest thing we always knock on the Sparks. They can't close out games to save their goddamn lives. And I know, and trust me, and I see Key already giving up already. It's like, man, the Sparks are doing bad. It drives to one of our best friends to think about drinking. Like that's concerning. But we're looking at how this season is going on for a lot of teams. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see. I mean, we didn't really expect nothing less for the Aces to continue their dominance, all coming off a championship from last year, but besides that, it was good for the city of Las Vegas to finally get a professional title. Thank you for the Aces. And now they got 2, courtesy of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, I won't be surprised if they get a third one complimented by the Aces. That's kind of my hot, I don't say hot take, but I guess you'd wait a hot take in a way. I think the Aces are gonna repeat as champs. Like I said, it's like the talent difference. You watch the eye test and somehow how these coaches do under pressure sometimes. And that's another thing too. Actually, I wanted to touch on too. If you looked at last year, you saw the Seattle's coach not really she didn't really do well under pressure with the team that she had. Still had Stewie, Jewel Lloyd. And they had a really good team last year. For some reason, that took a whole fucking 180. That's basically what I'm saying. But I don't think that's right. I don't think Tired you've already seen as much. But from what I'm seeing, Connecticut, I thought they really pushed the Aces to the limit last year. But the Aces still found a way.
I only saw the playoffs last year. I was like trying to get into it. You were trying to get me into it. I wasn't really like deep dived into it yet. In the last year, I pushed myself in the deep end. I was like really into the WNBA this year, and I'm like, all right,
hey,
what the hell was I missing? Because this is entertaining shit.
Yeah, it really
is. What the hell was I missing last year? And then like, but yeah, there's like, here's the thing. In no way am I sexist because of that. It's because the promotion, the promotional value of the WNBA, I didn't really see much.
Yeah,
because they weren't really promoting games. They weren't really promoting games anywhere, and plus, with me not having cable, that was an issue. It's hard to watch WNBA because you get maybe 1 or 2 games on ESPN if you're lucky,
or CBS Sports,
or CBS Sports, which I don't even have, and also, I really wasn't really into the NBA that much last year. I watched the playoffs. I watched the finals last year. It wasn't really deep dive. I didn't deep dive into basketball at all last year. So so it really isn't a sexism thing. It may seem like on the surface, like, oh, Tyler doesn't like women's sports. I like women's sports.
It's just like
I want women's sports to succeed. I want the WNBA to succeed. I'm glad they are now selling out arenas.
Yeah,
I'm glad that the ratings have rose.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I get to see women like Candace Parker and Kelsey Plum and all these other women
Brianna
play
Stewart
their
just cooking people when he just. Oh boy. We got Alyssa Thomas, who's been a phenomenal
and I think freaking Brianna Stewart's a freaking badass.
I mean,
because I remember one game. It was on ESPN where she played with a freaking shiner.
Yeah,
on her eye.
Yeah, I think that was
her shiner, and she dominated, bro.
Like that's the thing too. You know, a team like Seattle sometimes now it's kind of going to be concerning for Seattle. Now you're going to have another star that is Jewel Lloyd going to be leaving. Now the question is, where's she going to go in terms of the contending teams? I mean, I could see her going to Connecticut because remember, when Brianna went down with that Achilles injury, they've been missing that. I wouldn't say really missing a piece, but I mean they're still kind of complete. But I would say the Sun, if they want to win a championship, they need that one piece. I think Jewel Lloyd could beat that piece outside of DeWanna Bonner, who can give you 30 points a night. And there are times where we've seen it at times where DeWanna Bonner can give you 45 when you don't fucking play defense against her. That's where a lot of times, it's kind of crazy to really say about that. Yeah, I mean, look, you've seen teams. I mean, look, the Aces, yeah, prior to winning the championship last year, like it took them time to really grow and develop that core. What would become that championship team in 2022? Just because, yes, you had to change for Chelsea Gray because she spent most of portion of her career with the Aces, because she spent her time with the Sparks for a little bit. I think there was another team she spent her time with. But she was morely known here in the city of Las Vegas. Yes, I know me and Todd, we don't live in Vegas, but and they were like, and yeah, the coaching wasn't that great either from what I've been hearing from, some Aces fans prior to their championship before Beckingham got there. A lot of times, teams have to take notice. It's like, yes, you have to got to find out what coach works. You got to build up a core. And the fact they're going to keep the same core going into the next year. Yeah, I mean, look, you gave Asia Wilson an extension. I won't be shocked if they give Kelsey Plum another extension, because I do think they're going to keep that core together. Like, you have to realize, if you blow a championship team up, a lot of times, well, let's just be real, it's a recipe for disaster. And that's the one thing as an Aces fan, I do not want to see. But I think a lot of times, some teams like the Seattle Storm kind of really tend to forget like how to build now, don't get me wrong, they did have a really good team last year, but they just, outside of Brianna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd, not really much to go off of in terms of what you had.
Honestly, but you're missing one player of that team. Brianna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, but you also had Stu Bird. You had Stu Bird at that time too. So you had three good players. The rest of them were role players. Now you lost Jewel Lloyd to,
you lost Sue Bird to retirement. Brianna Stewart to the Liberty.
Brianna Stewart, yeah, you lost. Here's the thing: you lost Sue Bird to retirement. You lost. Brianna Stewart walked. One of their players ended up pregnant, so she's out. And then you have Jewel Lloyd wanting out.
It's going to be a rough few years for the Seattle Storm. I would say, because
it's going to be either sell. You got to sell. You got to get rid of these players. You got to rebuild. You can't keep these players around that want to be in contention for a championship, that want to be, champions, that want to give their respective cities a title. Seattle is simply not going to win a championship anytime soon. You lost your star player to retirement. You lost your other star player because she walked to New York. And now you're about to lose another one. And then you're about to lose another one via a trade or free agency or whatever. I honestly do see her going to Connecticut. too.
Actually,
but
actually, you know
I
what?
honestly,
That's gonna be a very interesting video. I actually want to make. Actually, that's an interesting video idea.
where's Joel Lloyd gonna go? So I really think we should make that video soon. But
Hopefully sometime this week, because I think it gets. If you're gonna be that one of those diehard WNBA fans, I want to get something to get you thinking. Like, where is she going to go? Because right now, right now, I want to see what her contract's looking like. You know, with Seattle, if she's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, that's going to be interesting. You're going to have a lot of teams are willing
no,
to.
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look too, bro. I'm gonna look too. Okay.
But that's.
I'm gonna look at her contract.
Let me go see.
All right. She signed a 2-year deal. 2-year deal. Damn, they really do get paid shit.
Well, what? And that was the biggest knock on the WNBA, because they don't really make a lot of money.
They do get paid shit. $463,000. Shit.
And yeah, Mercedes Russell's getting her values at $480K, almost $500,000.
It's fucking sad, bro. But yeah, she won't be a free agent until 2024.
24.
She's got 1 year left. She's got 1 year left on the contract after this year.
Actually, and let's take a look at for Vegas, because they got to get some moves done before the end of the season. You got Jackie Young. Now, granted, yes, she's got a couple more years, which is, thank God, because you don't want to lose someone like her. Kelsey Plum, she is actually a free agent at the end of the season, but I'm not going to be surprised if they get a deal done with her.
She's getting re-signed. For sure. She's getting re-signed.
Damn, she's only 27. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's young. She's young. And
Asia Wilson, obviously, for like we talked about before, got a 2-year extension, and rightfully so. The two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and a WNBA champ. You don't extend her. Oh, come, but good for them. Right now, so far, you got more. So we got Candace Parker for 1 more year, which is great. Which is great to see.
But now we don't know what Candace Parker we're gonna get, because she's got that injury. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen next year. Is she gonna get re-injured? Is she gonna stay healthy? Is she gonna be good off of that injury? We don't know.
Hey, sometimes we've seen players actually do play well since coming off a foot injury. You know, it's a rare select few. But now, in terms of a contract, I wish this contract could have been up. Raquana Williams, like I said before, and obviously for good reason. You don't really want to have a.
They basically fired her ass.
Rightfully so.
After she had that 9 battery charges after that domestic abuse thing, she's pretty much fired from the Aces.
And honestly, thank God for that, because I mean, look at the rest of the roster. We got Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Asia Wilson. I mean, outside of not having Raquana Williams, we're pretty much fine without her. I know it's crazy as it sounds, but yeah, we've pretty much been solid without Raquana Williams. Like I said, she isn't the greatest. Yeah, she's up there in age. She's 31. It's just, Candace Parker, yes, I know hasn't. I mean, like I said, hasn't really been impressive, but I really can't fall for her for that, because she is 36. She's been in the league for a very long time. But we just have some really nice supporting role players that, I think a lot of teams like Seattle could use, are jealous that they could have. Maybe Phoenix. But I think outside of that, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like, it's been the fact that Aces actually still kept their head straight with all the distractions they had to fucking deal with. I mean, kudos to that. I mean, like I said before, a lot of teams will crack and play like absolute dog shit. Into that.
Yeah, they've kept a level head. They just kept the eye on the prize, which is trying to get a championship. They have been amazing this year, as expected. They've been amazing, and I'm proud of the team.
They're up 9 early over the Dallas Wings at home in Las Vegas, as it stands.
Nice. But I'm proud of the team for keeping a level head and playing hard despite having these distractions. I'm not going to say what these distractions are because I've already beat a dead horse about it. But yeah, I'm proud of the team for doing. They're just keeping an eye on the prize. That's what they're there for. That's what they need to do. They need to keep the eye on the prize.
Absolutely.
And that's getting that Commissioner's Cup. That's getting that
that's a separate tournament.
The Commissioner's Cup is the season tournament. Yeah. What's the trophy called?
I don't know what the WNBA championship trophy is called.
I always thought it was the Commissioner's Cup.
No, that's
an in-season tournament.
Yeah.
But what do they call that?
I can't think of the name at the moment.
Hold on, I'm looking this shit up. I'm guys, bear with me. I'm still relatively new to WNBA, so. Jam. Really?
Did you find that?
They don't even have a name for it. It's just called a championship trophy. There's no name for it. Well, the finals championship.
Yeah, might as well.
They should just get rid of that in-season tournament and put it the Commissioner's Cup into the freaking finals, bro.
Funny enough that you mentioned that, as much as I know some people like you might agree with that, but there are times they actually draw some pretty good ratings from the Commissioner's Cup this year.
I know it's ratings, but it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't even like the NBA doing the same shit.
Boy, that's gonna be a rough year for NBA fans.
But regardless, though, stupid. Dude, I hate when college does this shit because it's confusing. Like, is the playoffs in the season or out of season? Like, just give me a regular season and then a playoff tournament.
Yeah, or a playoff tournament that will see if you are going to want to go into the March Madness tournament. But regardless,
not really. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do the March Madness tournament. That's just going to ensure every team makes the playoffs. No. But regardless, I would just do a standard tournament for the trophy and call it the Commissioner's Cup. Don't just call it championship trophy.
I'm saying.
Do you see the NBA just calling their championship a championship trophy? They call it Larry O'Brien Trophy. Give it a name. Oh, call it the goddamn whatchamacallit. What'd be a good name for that trophy?
I mean, so far in terms of trophy names, you get the Larry O'Brien for the MLB or NBA.
No. I know the names of the trophies, Rob. Just give me a random name that you would call the WNBA trophy, man.
That's gonna be rough. I mean, I'm trying to. God, if I could spell Google right. Not OG Kush. What the fuck? No, I meant Google. Jesus Christ. What? But regardless,
Rob, what is your search?
No, like I tried when I type in Google, I tried GO, but for some reason I had dyslexia moment, it had OG. But regardless,
my boy's like, I'm gonna look up weed. Hey, Rob. I'm gonna need you to stay off the damn weed.
So apparently David Stern actually fell the WNBA 27 years ago. Damn, I'm fucking. God damn.
I know the history of WNBA. I just wanted the name.
Apparently, their commissioner is Kathy Engelbert. I mean, an Engelbert Trophy. That really doesn't sound to you right.
No, give me a legend name.
Oh boy, in terms of Cheryl Swoops is one. Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie. Happy birthday to her. She actually.
I would probably make it the Lisa Leslie trophy.
Maybe you can make those.
Don't just call it the WNBA trophy. That's stupid. So, but yeah. Anyway, the Aces are in that whole thing, and these teams that are really, really struggling, and they're really, really, you gotta vie for the playoffs. You gotta vie for that trophy. You gotta, and that's the thing. A lot of these teams struggle, and
I agree.
And I know teams like the Sparks. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I feel like they'll wake up soon. Now the other teams like the Mercury and the Storm, sell.
Yeah, go on a fire sale.
Like you can't, you cannot have that. You can, and I know some of the stuff isn't their fault. Like the pregnancy thing isn't their fault, and it isn't the players' fault either. The injury bug with the Mercury, not their fault. Not really their fault. But the problem is you don't have depth. You don't have the depth to win a championship because all these players are out and nobody's stepping up.
Yeah, and that's a good point because even Key said it on multiple times too. Like nobody want you have like one or two players that actually are willing to show up to play when you have like the rest like the supporting cast or your bench not wanting to show up, figuratively speaking. But regardless,
you have women like Donna Taurasi and Brittany Griner trying to carry the Mercury.
Mostly
and now it's mostly been Brittany Griner.
I mean,
it's like what is going on with these you guys, the supporting cast does not want to step up for these teams.
No, they really don't.
And I know not a lot of people are cut out for the WNBA. Not a lot of people are cut out for pro sports. It happens. But come on, like these teams were supposed to be one of the teams that were in the playoffs. Because people were like, oh, Brittany Griner's back from that whole ordeal with Russia. Oh, she's back. It's time for a championship run for the Mercury. It's not happening.
It's not just that too, Tyler. If you looked at, I can say this from last year. The Mercury were not even that good last year. They were okay, but they barely limped into the playoffs. You also had dealt with in-game injuries. You had Shea Petty actually tearing her Achilles. Boy, and that really screwed everything up.
But here's the thing, though. They limped into the playoffs. And people were making it seem like, okay, it's Brittany Griner. She's out. Once they get her back, they will be better. She's back. They're worse. And it's not Brittany Griner's fault. It's the other players' fault. These players don't step up. They got complacent. And you have Brittany Griner trying to carry the load. She's been really, really good this season, over like a 20-point scorer this season. She's been really, really efficient with the ball. She's been getting the ball in the hoop. She's been doing her job. The rest of this team isn't doing jack. They're turning the ball over left and right. They're just completely careless.
It's very careless.
And they're one of the teams that people were thinking, okay, Brittany Griner is back.
Maybe they're
making the playoffs. They might make it. They're thinking, oh, they're making the playoffs. They're not even going to limp in. They're going to just make it flat out, and they're going to make a run in the playoffs. Not happening. Nope. And also the Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm. That's expected. You lost your stars. So it's time for the rebuild. It's time for the rebuild to commence. It's time for the rebuild to commence. Hold up. It's time for the rebuild to commence. There. So that's fine. But the Mercury are the biggest shocker to me this season.
Yeah.
And of how atrocious they've been.
And the fact they had to make an in-season coaching change too. Well, like that's not how bad the Mercury have been when he had to make an in-season coaching change. Now going back to the Storm, yes, we all knew that they were going to take a bit of a step back. Sue Bird, you could see in her game the last few years have not been great,
and that's why she retired. But as soon as she retired, I didn't think I thought nothing of it. I'm like, all right. I'm thinking, all right, it's Breanna Stewart's time to shine. But when Breanna Stewart left for New York, I'm like, oh no.
Oh, that team was going downhill.
They gotta rebuild now. And
not to mention, too, their best 6 woman off the bench was Brianna January, and she retired as well at the same time.
Yeah, after all those dominoes fell, you had Sue Bird and Brianna January retire, and then you had Breanna Stewart leave.
And
I'm like, oh no. Right.
When you really looked at this all season, and you looked at last year, and watch the playoffs last year between the Aces and the Seattle Storm. Stewie was doing most of the carrying on that team. Think about it. The fact that like 2 games she has 45 plus points, and then she had a couple 30 plus the remaining 3.
Yo, what up, Zach? What up, Zach? Welcome to the WNBA stream. But yeah, it was all. But here's the thing: there's been a few cases last year in that playoff run where I saw it was both Breanna Stewart and Sue Bird trying to carry.
Yeah, Jewel Lloyd was nowhere to be found.
Jewel Lloyd was quiet. She was quiet, and the rest of the team, there was nothing. But
it really is sad though, man. And it's crazy.
And once they lost all these players, man, the way they did in the offseason, I'm thinking, oh no, it's over.
They're going to go for it too.
Like you saw the writing on the wall when no one saw the writing on the wall when Brittany Griner returned to the Mercury. We were thinking, oh, they're going to be good again. They're going to be better than what they were last year, and they are worse, which is shocking.
At least. Yeah, because I remember it really is shocking. Like I said, to finish up on the Storm, though, now the fact, like I said, call us crazy because I think I've said it too. I think Breanna Stewart, when she knew where this team was heading, I think she knew the writing on the wall to get the hell out of there, as quick as
she saw. She saw when Sue retired, when Breanna retired, when the rest of the role players were bad. We're like. She saw the writing and she was like, I'm not about to let me and Jewel Lloyd try to carry this damn team. Like, I'm not going to sit there and let me and Jewel Lloyd try to carry this damn team.
And now the fact that, shout out to Key, that Jewel Lloyd is another one that could be on her way out of Seattle.
Yeah, Jewel Lloyd's want to be out. She wants to be gone. And I don't blame her because this team has just turned a bunch of role players that aren't that good.
Yeah, and the fact that not just that 2 tower, do you the one question I want to pose? Do you really want to waste your career on a team like on the Seattle Storm? I know I wouldn't. I would actually.
Hell no! I would demand the goddamn trade immediately.
At times, I mean, when because and kudos to Breanna Stewart because she actually was willing to let her contract expire, after the playoffs and actually walk in free agency. So. Seattle wouldn't get nothing back in return. If they do decide to trade her, and that's the crazy part, though. And now with Jewel Lloyd, yes, she's got 1 more year left. I wouldn't be surprised, if she becomes a bit of a trade deadline asset going into the next year, or it's somehow doing an all-season trades. Anything can happen because
honestly, while her trade value is high, trade for a high pick.
Trade her as much. At least get something in return for Jewel Lloyd.
Trade her for a high pick, and any good role player you have, trade them for high picks,
or at least get a good value out of her and good return.
Get some. Honestly, no, because they need to actually trade her. They actually need to trade her for picks. They need to rebuild. They need to start over. and I know you want to trade for another person that's of high value, but that no. I for me, they have to start over, press that reset button, and trade her for a high bet. Trade her for the top pick in the draft. Draft someone really good. Start over, build through the draft, and hopefully down the line you will be as good as you were before.
And also to try to build through free agency too, because it's not just the draft you have to worry about; it's the free agents, and that's the thing too. Some of these draft picks too.
But honestly, teams can actually be good organically through the draft. Look at the Warriors when they first started their run. A lot of those players were through the draft. So I would say go to the draft, develop the players, and then when you're good enough, then when you're in playoff contention, maybe get a free agent.
I mean, shit.
That's the only. That's
I disagree with that. One a bit. But the last and final thing before we go out of here, another article through the WNBA website. So this was coming from the league itself as an official release. This was coming from Friday, July 14th. Yes, I know this is more than 2 weeks ago. The WNBA heads into this was before the All-Star break. So it heads into the AT&T All-Star on record pace for viewership, attendance, and digital consumption. Now, which is, that's another thing too. Me have been very happy with this league. The fact they're drawing a lot more viewers, they're bringing a lot more viewers. And the WNBA All-Star game was the most viewed in quite some time, which is great to see. Like, that's a lot of things. Like, that's the one thing that some people.
Here's what I'm really, really happy about. The ratings, the TV ratings have grown, and also the attendance. A lot of these games have been sold out crowds. Yeah, there's been in years past, you maybe get like a couple thousand people there, but you see a lot of empty seats. And I feel like that kind of takes you out. That's what kind of took me out of games too, is that you don't hear that crowd excitement. You don't hear that. This year, you heard that because there was a lot more people there. It's been sold out a lot, and also the TV ratings have skyrocketed.
Speaking of viewership, so they actually broke these down in different bullet points, in terms from the on-court viewing, the viewership, the attendance. So we're going to touch
on the numbers, man. Tell me the numbers, man.
So combined viewership for the WNBA across its national networks, which is ABC, CBS, ESPN, and ESPN2, is up 67% over last year, averaging at 556,184 viewers. Currently, this season is pacing to be the most watched regular season across the league's networks in 20 years.
It's up 67%. The first time in 20 years. The first time since 2003.
Yeah,
they've grown that much.
That is crazy to think about that. Now, going on to this bullet point, the Wings and Sparks game on NBC was the most viewed game this season at 733,000 viewers on Sunday, June 25th. Mercury and Liberty on CBS was viewed at 694,000 on June 18th. Aces and Storm, good Lord, I wish I kind of regret doing that game. On ABC was the most viewed opening weekend since 2012, averaging at 684,000 viewers on Saturday, May 20th. And obviously with the Mercury and Sparks, again, first most watched regular season game on cable in 24 years, and the most viewed on opening day on ESPN Network in 11 years, averaging 683,000 viewers on ESPN on Friday, May 19th.
Now here's the thing, right? Is there still work to be done with the viewership? Yes.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the NBA averages about 1 million to about like 5 million. All right.
Yeah.
They average way more than like 600,000. But this is a huge step forward for the WNBA. Huge step forward. You're up 67% viewership.
On the national TV networks, might I add you?
On the national TV level. ESPN, CBS Sports,
ABC.
ABC. Like you're up 67%. But I do think about this too, right? I do think that this is the case too. they've actually started promoting the WNBA considerably well.
Has been better as of recently.
They've been doing a lot better with the marketing, and that was one of the reasons why people didn't watch. Yes, there was sexism with some of the cases, most of the cases, but like some of the cases was like they didn't really promote it that well,
and rightfully so. That's why it was hard to draw in
and it was hard to draw numbers because you don't promote it well, and now they are promoting it well. They got a 67% increase.
As not just that too, like and think of the imagine of how many people are willing to subscribe to the WNBA League Pass, like myself included. You can catch games like you may not see on TV, and that's why it's been a lot of fun doing that because most y'all ask for it, and you guys shall receive. Now,
yeah, if you don't have if you don't have like Ion TV, if you don't have which I bet you like 95 to 100% of households have Ion who have cable.
Yeah, I don't know why that's even
because Ion that's like all right, you automatically get Ion. But the thing is if you don't have cable and you don't have Ion, or if you don't have ESPN, or if you don't have if you don't have ESPN, it's just ESPN app. But if you don't have these like CBS Sports Network, if you don't have any of that stuff, you can get these apps and you can watch them there. And they do count towards the ratings.
Absolutely.
So it's because we're in a new day and age where streaming services mean everything.
It's right now. It's the next big thing because cable television is kind of dying at this point.
Well, cable television's numbers have dipped. But the fact that they're still able to garner that many viewers on cable, awesome job.
So in terms of attendance.
Now the attendance, I want to know.
So WNBA attendance this year is up 27% this season through the same number of games compared to than last year. Than more than 787,000 fans attending the 2023 that's all regular season games combined last year. Currently, the season attendance is expected to be the highest average since 2018. Other highlights include. The highest attended WNBA game of the season was the return of Brittany Griner at 14,040 fans in attendance to see the Mercury take on the Chicago Sky. The Seattle Storm Super jersey retirement and emotional ceremony drew in 13,213 total fans and in attendance against the Washington Mystics, marking the second highest attended game this season, and the first WNBA Canada game presented by Tangerine, which saw the Sky defeat the Lynx in a preseason game. While they brought in approximately 20,000 fans at the Scotiabank Arena on Saturday, May 13th.
Yeah.
Do we have to say any more? I mean,
that's exactly what's been impressing me. And there's been a few games that I watched, and I know, and it wasn't at Scotiabank. It was here in the States. There's been a few games where I saw, and they were sold out. They were completely sold out.
Like you never see an empty seat.
Yeah, and there was a game with the Aces too, completely sold out. That right there tells me that people actually do care about this league. And that's awesome.
Let's go back to Tyler. And Tyler brought up a very good point. The marketing has been a whole lot better than it was the last couple of years.
Yeah. Marketing has been exceptionally better.
It's not just from the marketing, the revenue, not the and stuff like that. But the revenue has gone up, as well. So the WNBA has achieved double-digit growth for partnership revenue this year, which is at an all-time high for the first time in 27 years since the league has been around since 1996. So the revenue has been going up.
Revenue has been going up, and I do see in these contracts the numbers of the money that these
the big stars are getting
athletes are getting paid. They're getting more. And I know that they should be the million, but they're getting more and more slowly.
Baby steps. So merchandise.
Baby steps. This is what it is. Baby steps.
And merchandise.
Now this is a problem. This is a problem what Chelsea Plum had was merch.
Yeah, she did make that point.
She made a point on a podcast about it. So merch was an issue. So I want to hear those numbers.
So the league has seen a surge in merchandise sales overall this season. Overall sales of WNBA merchandise at the NBA store in New York are up 78% versus the season compared to the same time last year. In addition, sales at Dick's Sporting Goods are up 68% compared to the same time last season.
There it is. So Kelsey Plum is winning there. She's winning. That she won the argument, and fans actually do care.
The players don't get a cut from that from those. That's the one point she also brought up, was not getting a cut. A percentage cut.
Then again, with these sales and the way the numbers have been rising, I feel like once these women get to about to be like a multi-million-dollar thing, I think that's when you will start to see.
And plus, another thing that people knocked on the WNBA is that they don't make money. Yeah, look at this year.
Here's the thing. Here's now. And I will get to that. I'm getting to that right now. People are out there saying people don't care about the WNBA. No one cares about women playing basketball. No one cares about women's sports. They don't matter. And that is a complete lie. That is a complete goddamn lie.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
It may not matter to you because you're a sexist prick, but it matters to other people. It matters to other people. And that's and the numbers show it. 67% rise in TV ratings. 27% rise in attendance. The merch sales have gone up.
The revenue has gone up.
The revenue's gone up. The salaries have gone up slightly, but they've gone up.
It's a step. But
it's baby steps. It is baby steps. And to the haters out there, people do care about this league. They care about it.
So, going forward, because there's been some other improvements as well. The WNBA app, which means our use a lot before we start our shows and stuff like that.
Yep.
Since the WNBA launched the digital transformation of its app at the start of the season, the app itself has, with the monthly active users, have grown 147% over last year.
You're welcome, WNBA, because we actually give a shit.
But not just that, but in terms of the social media engagement, the WNBA is on a record pace for video views all across the social media platforms, with 155 million video views halfway through the season, which 84% of the total video views the league amassed for the entire 2022 regular season. Which that brought up
people are watching them highlights, bro. People are watching them highlights.
In 2022, they brought in 186 million total views in 2022. So they're going to do it again.
They're rising. They are rising, bro. They are rising there, bro.
This is a benefit for League Pass. The League Pass, the league's out of market live game package has experienced a 19% growth in subscriptions so far this season versus the same point last year.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, and which is funny because I've seen this. I saw this a couple of years ago where people say, "Oh, this league should have just flopped already." Yeah.
This league should have flopped. They're not making any money. No, they're not selling T-shirts. They're not selling jerseys. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not. People don't care about this league.
Oh, here's another comment that I saw. They only care. They're pretty much on live sport through the help of the NBA. Yeah, you're telling me all the shit that they done this year.
That's the thing. That's another thing that I find very, very dumb. Is that these and the only ones saying this are the sexist assholes saying it.
Boy, are they?
It's the fact that they're saying, "Oh, people don't care about the league. People don't care about women's sports. People don't care about."
They don't want to see the women succeed at the professional level.
They don't want to see the women, and that's the problem. And I saw a video on, and this was a wrestling video, but this goes into sports too. This is all of America that we're talking about. Look over there in Russia. Look over there in Japan. Look over in other places. They care a lot more about women's sports. Other countries care about women's sports. That's why the Scotiabank Arena sold out the way it did initially.
Yeah, and that's just
was because Canada doesn't give a shit if you're male or female. You can play a sport.
And play
a lot of America has this identity of only men can play, and it's misogynistic as hell. And it's just only men can play sports. Only men can wrestle. Only men can do this. Only men can do that. This is a male-dominated country.
Yeah, I know. Like it makes you like we're not trying to make this as not say as political, but you got to think of like we are like so far back in terms of the social standards.
Yeah, but what we're saying is that a lot of the people in the country, a lot of the guys in the country, a lot of these people have this old mentality that's been around since the birth of this damn country.
Yeah.
Oh, women can't do this. Women can't do that. It's been a while, and women can't do this and that and the third. Women can't play sports. Women can't do this. Like no. Now it's 2023. I think that agenda needs to die. Everybody can play sports.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody can be a wrestler. Everybody can do what they want to do in their life. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're transgender. I don't care if you're gay, black, blue, purple. I don't care who you are. I mean, I mean, it'd be kind of weird to see a blue person or purple person, but I won't judge you.
Joke, but I'm going to hold that to myself. I'm sorry,
bro. Keep it PG. Keep it PG.
I was Smurf. But yeah,
Smurf.
But
if I don't care if you're a goddamn Smurf,
and
I don't give a damn.
And the thing about it is too, the final thought here, but the fact that they actually done a really good job with better marketing, they saw the nice.
See, that was part of the issue. That was part of the issue because, but them doing not marketing enough is letting these haters win. Oh, people don't care about it. Well, they don't give us a chance to care because they don't market it. If they marketed it better, we would care.
Absolutely.
Hell, I didn't even care about women's softball or women's pro softball because they weren't promoting it. The Olympics last year, I'm like, I care about softball.
Yeah, because you get to see these women shine on a huge stage.
You get that, and also I like when I see like women dominating sports on like SportsCenter, I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's really, really cool to see.
And the fact that they're doing this year with increased attendance, revenue, the WNBA app usage, and the league pass, and better marketing, they pretty much had all 5 points on the top of the head, like a nail on chalkboard, basically. Or
bam, freaking bam, bro.
Like literally. Now think about it. If they can keep that up and increase more ratings and more revenue, we could potentially see this league actually can make money for the first time in quite a while. Yeah,
they needed to. I know they needed to start over because they weren't marketing that well. This is how a company grows. This is how a league grows. Early on, they're not going to make a lot of money.
I mean, shit, look at the history of the NBA. They didn't really make that much money when they first started.
They had to buy another league just to be popular.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Even the MLB, that wasn't popular that well. It wasn't really that good.
It took a bit of while.
A while. The NFL, they had to buy another league to gain dominance. Same as the NBA. They had to buy another league to gain dominance. Get more teams in there. And
we'll have its growing pains.
Everybody has growing pains. But that's the thing. You're gonna. The thing is, that's what businesses have to do. They have to take baby steps in order to grow in revenue, in ratings, in anything like that. Any of these sports leagues, and that's why the MLB is doing 1 billion rule changes so they can get more people to. And I know a lot of the hardcore fans don't like it, but they're trying to do whatever they can to gain more revenue, to gain more viewers.
And that's the thing too. But the attendance has been up when people are going into ballparks, even with these rules.
Exactly, and that's and those baby steps are working. That's the same thing. That's the same thing with the WNBA. They're marketing it better. They're implementing the same rules as the NBA, making it fair.
Absolutely.
On both sides, and also the and not just the marketing, but the tickets. They've been marketing.
I mean,
they not only in a national sense, but in a local sense too.
Like, say, if you live in Las Vegas, but boy, they actually can sell out in Las Vegas. Same with Seattle.
Because every day they're utilizing that social media platform.
Right. Think about it too. That's another big part.
They're saying every day, get your tickets.
And that's the big part and that's why in this age of social media, that's why I think would help the WNBA out, especially with their marketing. In terms of you get more of a wider audience. In terms of that, and I think they've really done a really good job with that. Not just from, and I know, trust me, I'm one of those people who actually love watching WNBA highlights because it's like, yes, and that's the thing too, where I've also liked about the WNBA because in terms of you can see the difference of officiating here in the NBA. No ticky tack bullshit, is for a lack of a better term. But
that's why I like it. That's why I like it better because they can actually. It looks like the older basketball from like the early 2000s,
like late 90s, early 2000s.
Like not just like the whole entire 90s into the 2000s.
Absolutely,
like it looked just like it, and also it's just like it was in the early 2000s. There wasn't no 101 points to like 100 or 120 to 110. It's always a low scoring affair.
Yeah,
because they're too busy just bodying each other like they owe them lunch money or some shit every damn day.
And absolutely. And it's like you see some of these women, like, it's kind of crazy. Some of these women are just fucking tall as hell. Yes, I know we can't really say because the camera angles don't really do them justice, but
bro, when I saw the draft this year, and I think one of the players was like 6'7", and the announcer was like 5 foot. She had to freaking tap. She had to look up. I'm like, God damn!
It's crazy, like how tall some of these women are, and that's one thing too. With what people liked about the WNBA is like they focus on fundamentals, like old school basketball fundamentals. You don't have to worry about dunking all this bullshit, like this flashy bullshit.
But here's yes. And people are like, oh, it takes away from the game because women don't dunk. No.
Okay. I mean, there's a thing called fundamentals for like first of all, and that's one thing I've always I clap back at people.
That's the problem. The OGs know what fundamentals are. These newer fans, we only want to see 30-foot threes and dunks. No.
Like that. Like the threes are good and all. But it's just like it takes away from the fundamentals that these ladies have been doing their entire lives, and that's where not saying my issue, but the one thing I've always stood up for is like, look, if you have not played sports, if you don't know what the fundamentals are, just don't say shit. That's just the way I look at it. And people call me a gatekeeper. Like, first of all, it's the fucking truth. If you don't play, because for me, baseball didn't come for me as easy as it once did. It took me a while to learn the game.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with coaching. Exactly. You're not gonna be a great coach off the bat. Me, when I did the impromptu coaching that one year, I was 1-2. I wasn't that great.
I mean, shit. Even want to make another argument? Look at Becky Hammond. She had to learn under Greg Popovich for a while, and then she took what she learned and what Greg Popovich has taught that Spurs team to the Aces, and look how good they've been the last couple of years.
They've been dominating. Yeah, they've been dominating. But here's the thing. I'm glad the haters are finally losing this fight. All I've got to say.
Oh, absolutely.
They're finally seeing what we're seeing, and they are being proven wrong. By the entire league, by the fans of this league, by us. They're being proven wrong. And I'm glad to see it. I'm so glad to see
one
it.
thing I really hope the WNBA does is make a bigger All-Star MVP trophy, because boy, that looks like a little bit of a child's toy, I would have to say.
Yeah, it looks like that's like that one of those trophies you get when you're like just participating and lost
The
the
participation
championship.
trophies.
Yeah,
That's
the
the only
damn
thing I will not.
participation trophy when you lost a championship.
Yeah, but then again, that's the only thing I will knock on the WNBA All-Star game. That's pretty much about it. I wouldn't be surprised. The revenue is going to go up even more. The attendance is going to be even more. I mean, they're probably going to have to probably add more seats if we're going to do that. The usage of the WNBA app, and definitely, I will not be surprised there's going to be more growth of League Pass, because let's be real, $24.99 a year. That's well worth it.
That's like what, $24.99 a year. That's like what, a cell phone plan probably, or whatever. No, cell phone plan's like $100 a month. But what costs $24.99? Shit, trying to find an equivalent. Hold on, I'm gonna look up $24 products. But odd thing to look up. But
oh yeah,
or actually $25 products. $25 products. Not 25 products, $25, idiot phone. Smartphone, stupid. So
oh god,
you can literally buy vegan shampoo on Amazon for $25. Shampoo for $25. Amazon. But let's look at Walmart for a minute.
I don't know, man, but
hold on. I'm looking.
God, my eye itches.
You can buy I don't want under $25. Bro. This is an odd thing to buy for $26.99. But you can buy a 5-pack of Starbucks reusable cups at Walmart.
Oh man.
For slightly more than what you're paying for League Pass.
But like I said, for those of you who want to get League Pass, look, I highly recommend it if you guys want to watch some out of market games, because like I said, $24.99.
And also, I think the MLB needs to freaking do the same shit. $100 and something bucks for a whole. No.
Well,
MLB's that shit cheaper.
That's $24.99 a month for MLB, for the MLB.
But you're paying $100 and something for the whole season.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a good point.
I hate that.
Don't ask me to do math.
Pass, but for damn League Pass, you're just getting it for $24.99 off the rip.
I mean, plus, think about it. Like I said, there's a lot of positive, not just from the marketing, social media, and revenue side, but also they're going to actually start learning how to do their own charter flights and stuff like that. Which, was a huge first step before. Along with the ratings and everything else.
I feel like they're doing their own charter flight thing because of what happened to Brittany Griner with that whole YouTube.
Oh yeah, that complete fucking asshole. But that's what. Oh
yeah, that asshole. Right. Yeah. So that's probably why they're doing the charter thing, not because the league is better. But
yeah, that's kind of like a new standard. It's
kind of a new standard that they're doing because of the Brittany Griner shit.
And I mean, before that, there's a lot of players have talked
about having that YouTuber bum rusher for fucking cheap interview.
Well, that's it too. But I also got to think the student. Even before that, a lot of the players a couple of years ago did actually talk about this league should actually consider the idea of charting their own flights. And myself included. I mean, it's like I don't know if that's going to work or not. I was very skeptical of it at first, but seeing the big progression now, yes, obviously with the unfortunate situation with Brittany Griner, but that's besides the point. But seeing with everything, the big positives that they have done for the first, and let's bro, in a nice, I guess you could say, yes, in the 27-year history, the fact that they've done a lot of stuff right with good marketing, good ratings and stuff like that. Like, it takes like the one small thing. Is all it is. But
yeah, it's all baby steps. We've said this countless times at the end
you don't want
here.
to really rush it.
It is all baby steps. You can't rush it. You can't really automatically expect, oh, we deserve $1 million. Yes, you deserve $1 million, but you deserve a billion, honestly. But you can't really make that until you make these baby steps. Get better at marketing. Get better at
and then once you
the t-shirt sales, the merch sales.
And actually start your own merch store. I think that'll be another interesting idea that I think they should consider, and let the players get the cut, whoever's making the shirts and stuff like that. But regardless, though,
I think they do have one.
We had to go through the NBA and Dick's Sporting Goods, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they do. They do have a WNBA store. WNBAstore.com.
Oh, really?
They do. They have their own WNBA store. But the problem is that they really weren't able to utilize it because of the poor attendance and the poor viewership because of the marketing issue. But now they're marketing the league better. Those numbers of the WNBA store, that's gonna improve.
It really is. And it's kind of awesome to see those women finally get the true recognition that they truly deserve after quite a while. Because let's be real, you also had, look, even before these women now, you got to think of like women like Cheryl Swoops, to make a catch. And shout out to Stratford native of New Jersey, one of the greatest, still one of the up there as well. Sue Bird, yes, I know her career numbers has not been the best before her retirement. But you got to think it's too, like the WWE back then was a lot different than it is now. We're in the new era of social media and streaming apps and stuff like that, which is great. It's great to see for the league. I want more from, I want to see more into next year. I really do.
Yeah, I want to see more too with the whole attendance numbers and the whole figure numbers go rise, and the fact that they've grown exponentially within a year.
Yeah,
it's awesome. This is what you want from a league that's really struggled the last handful of years.
That's been around since 1996, and you finally get the right. You push the
they're
right.
They're really getting the recognition now. They're really getting something there.
Hey, just keep it up. That's all we gotta say.
And just keep it up. Keep it going. Keep promoting these games. Great. Also, keep talking. They've honestly have started talking a lot more about the WNBA. If you watch ESPN Sports,
which is crazy to beyond belief.
They've been talking about that league a lot more. Than what they used to. They might show maybe one highlight per episode of Sports.
Yeah, now it's like sweep it under the rug, basically.
Now it's like 3-4 highlights of like 4 different games.
And at times, you have seen it where it's not just from Sports Center and stuff like that, even during the halftime shows and stuff like that, where just more than WNBA, but it's a big step,
For me, that those halftime shows on ESPN are along the same lines of the WNBA, the NBA halftimes.
Yeah,
and they honestly, I think they share the same set.
I think so as well.
They share the same set because it looks the same, but you have that same formula of analyst or the host, and then you have 3 analysts who played in the league before.
Yeah,
which is great because they have that in the whatchamacallit. They have it. The NBA is different. You have the 2 analysts, and then you have 2
or 3 former players.
2 or 3 players, which was before he got fired. Jalen Rose and
which is unfortunate.
Jalen Rose shouldn't get fired. But anyway, you had Jalen Rose and you had Perk. You had Stephen A. and then you had Greenberg. Green. You still have Green. You still have Stephen A. You don't have Jalen Rose because ESPN fired him for no fucking reason. And you also have Perk, who apparently mouth breathes, by the way, which pisses off JJ Redick.
Well, regardless, though, but I could not be more happy for this league, especially the women that are in this league, not from the players, the medical staff, even the broadcasters. So you got some women who played in the league are actual on-screen broadcasters.
The thing is, when I hear these announcers, they bring the excitement.
Yeah, but like, when's the last time anybody brought excitement to the WNBA?
Like, they bring the excitement, and you want to get hyped with them. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And also you see a lot. And also I have to give it up to the players, because nowadays I'm seeing in the WNBA a lot of heart, a lot of goddamn heart from certain teams, a lot of heart, and I love to see it.
It's like, a lot of times, and like and that's another thing too as well. You don't like see like the women any flopping and any of that bullshit that was going on.
Yeah, you don't see the ticky tack bullshit you see in the men's league. I feel like the men are whinier than the women.
Yeah, that's not right.
In the NBA, in basketball, they're whinier than the women.
Because the thing is too, like, you've seen games where, like, in order to, if you had to foul, you're going to have to like literally reach in, or at times you and really either have to take a block and stuff like that. And at times too, yes. And there are times
you literally have to hook somebody's arm and drag them to the ground for a foul.
And then that you got to be careful with that, because you don't want to get that to a flagrant. Now, which does happen occasionally in certain situations where someone takes a bit of a shot to the head that's not incidental contact. But you
don't see these women go and like flop and then bitch and whine. Oh, but that was a foul. Look at LeBron James after I think that one the game that took the Lakers out. For like that last minute, for the whole minute after that game, that man was on the ground whining and crying, literally whining and crying, throwing a hissy fit in the middle of the court.
And that's the thing too. Like, you don't see this, like, some of these women in the WNBA, even when they get hurt, like, they don't stay on the court for about 5 to 10 seconds. Well, it depends on the severity of the injury. Like I said, to make that LeBron James reference, after he got poked in the eye, he was down on the ground for like 30 to 40 seconds. Like, dude, you got poked in the eye. I'm dying. See, and that's why a lot of times I feel like that they've done a really good job of, and then that goes back to the marketing as well. Like, they actually with the same rule, with the NBA, implementing now with the flop rule. Would be surprised that the WNBA.
Bro, I remember one time where LeBron James had a random cramp, which he could have walked on, by the way. He had to get 2 fucking players to freaking carry his ass out.
That's not really saying much. That's embarrassing. And has the WNBA has an embarrassing moments? Sure. I mean, shit. I've seen Asia Wilson get crossed over out of her shoes at one point. It's like,
literally out of her shoe. Like her shoe came off.
Like, literally, like, I can't think of who it is, but she, like, this one lady pulled an AI type of crossover. Boy, she made Asia Wilson look stupid. And
but here's the thing: that's all you're going to get in this league. You're not going to get the whining and the crying and the bitching and the moaning over ticky-tack fouls.
We have seen some players.
Some players don't have that musical, but most of them don't even bitch and moan over a foul.
Shit. I mean, I've seen, boy.
There's been a few times where I see players go and look at the real player and go, "That's on me."
That's most of the times too. And then look up the video boards, like, and sometimes they just have like a weird facial hair. It's just like, that's not a foul, but they don't really say it to the official, but they just keep it to themselves.
Or no, that weird facial expression is like, damn.
Like they knew they got caught.
No, it's not like damn, I got caught. It's like, damn, I messed up.
Yeah, and it's funny as well. Not say what's funny, but I've seen Kelsey Plum actually. Boy, I mean, she lived up to her name as Plum Dub, but there are times where she actually has gotten teed up for actually standing up for her teammates, because obviously a foul that, and yes, you'll see like a rare once in a while ticky-tack foul in the WNB, which hardly ever happens. And
which is fine if you're sticking up with your teammate.
And I've seen Asia Wilson get tagged, and at times like I said, this league gets physical. A lot of times you see some technicals getting assessed. When it gets very physical.
There's been a few times where I'm like, games are turning into a goddamn wrestling match.
I mean, shit. Well, like our team of the Aces played against the Fever. Asia Wilson and Aaliyah Boston were going at it in the paint. Like you could not tell me that got physical.
They were like, who can out physical the other the entire game, bro?
Yeah, battled the South Carolina Gamecocks, which is kind of the.
I was like, God damn, Deuce Staley, or not Deuce Staley, freaking Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley.
What the hell would you do to these players? You're like making them badasses.
It really is.
What the fuck?
And that's a crazy point too. Like you see some players that from some obscure schools. I mean, some decent size, like Kelsey Plum came from the University of Washington. Not really a big basketball school, I guess you could say, but
yeah, that's more of like a football school.
But hey, she still turned out a really good career at 27 years old in this league. It's like, yeah, because when people think of like big schools that are basketball powerhouses, we're thinking like Nova, South Carolina for the ladies, because I don't know how good the men's were, and stuff like that. But it's good to see, and like ladies, the ladies Villanova Wildcats team finally, good to see get them some recognition with Maddie Seagrass being the first one. And for those who don't remember, the ladies team was just god awful in those years. But regardless, so
yeah.
But
yeah, we're glad. But to end this show, my tablet's at 8%. Oops. So we're just gonna end this show. But I will make a final remark. I'm glad the ladies are winning. And I hope the league continues to improve. And I hope we get to continue this show. I have fun with this. So anyway.
And that being said, guys, this is going to
finish. Finish
that's another thing too. Also, you're going to see more of this during the all seasons too. So you'll see more of us all season and more WNBA draft coverage as well.
We're doing it all. But yeah, that's going to be it for us. My tablet is literally on its last.
That being said, guys,
so
we are out.
Peace.